G'day guys. Looks like we had some trouble this morning trying to set that up. Didn't want to play the game. But it looks like we are live now. It's probably just that I'm bloody tired because it's really early here. Let's see if anyone's in here. Looks like a few people here. Not heaps. We'll give it a few more minutes. It's pretty early here at the moment. I'm just getting over what the doctor described as a pretty severe lung infection, so you might cop some coughing and stuff whilst we're going through things this morning. We'll get straight into it then. There's a few of us here now by the look of it. G'day guys. So we're doing this at a little bit of a different time because, well, the analytics suggest that I should be doing it early. For those that aren't in the YouTube space, we do things with the times that we put videos out and stuff is what the algorithm suggests that's going to be better for your channel, as in more people are watching it then. And when it comes to lives, it actually suggested to do it about 2 hours ago, and for me that's 1 o'clock in the morning, and no. Can one of you just, whoever's in there watching at the moment, someone put a comment there so I know that's working. Otherwise I'm going through this whole thing and you guys can't actually talk to me. It looks like it's working okay, but no one's made any comments yet. So we've got a few things going on here today. We've got, I'll go through some photos and stuff from that Facebook page. We'll go through some of the news that I've got from the last few days of what's happened to this channel in the last few days. I don't know if that chat's working. I'm not sure if anyone's actually put anything there or not. Just bear with me for a second whilst I see if I can fix it. There is heaps of chats there. I'm just going to put that back on the screen just a second, guys. All the podcasts that I listen to around YouTube stuff, around YouTube creator stuff, and they talk about lives and they say, oh, you know, the lives, things always go wrong in lives, and I've never had it happen. That's not the case anymore. Let me put that there. Still not there. No point having that chat going on if I can't listen or read what you guys are saying. You can just sit here watching me copying and pasting URLs. There we go, it's working. Now that I'm reading the comments, you're like, knock, knock, oh yeah. Cool. I can actually read what you're saying now. It's early in the morning, all right? So for those who just got in there now, when we start, when I post things on YouTube, for me it's usually at about 2 o'clock in the morning. I just set it to schedule it. I don't get up at that time. But it said that for lives, it's suggested to do it at 1 o'clock in the morning. I normally do them about 6:30 my time. I don't sleep that much. I'm ex-military, so I don't sleep a great deal. And when I do wake up, it's usually crack of sparrow in the morning and get out of bed early in the morning. So 3:30 is when I would normally be getting out of bed. This morning I set an alarm for 3 o'clock so that I could start this at 3:30, and I woke up at 2:59 and looked at my phone because I set an alarm for the first time in ages and got out of bed and went to do this. So that's why we're doing it at a different time. We'll see how many people will actually get into the chat through this, and if it's something that's more popular, I guess, if the time frame is more popular for you guys, well, that's what I'll continue to do. My plan is to, because I enjoy doing this and I enjoy talking with you guys live, so I think it's probably something I'll continue to do probably every 2 weeks, and it probably will replace one of the videos that I do each week. We'll see. We'll see how much we get out of it. So, what I want to do today is talk about what happened this week for those who didn't see it. This channel was the creator on the rise here in Australia, so that's in the YouTube space. That's a pretty big deal. The channel took a massive spike over that 24-hour period. So when you look on YouTube and you go to the trending tab on YouTube, you saw all 5 or 6 of my videos there, and people who wouldn't necessarily look for mobile phone photography or phone astrophotography or how to photograph the stars, things like that, they would have seen my stuff anyway. So it got presented to a lot of people. We gained a heap of subscribers over that day. So because it was only listed in Australia, they were for the most part Aussies who subscribed that day. So I guarantee you that none of them are up watching this because it's too bloody early. We got a massive amount of views from that, and from the creator's point of view, it's a good spike in the dollars for me. But the most important thing was, from my point of view at least, we got a heap of sponsors, and they're sending us stuff. I've got some stuff sitting on the table behind me here from sponsors who have sent stuff for me to review on the channel. I'm not going to sit here and go, this is, this is the Samsung and it's a great little phone. We're going to actually get out there and use this stuff, and I'll show you how I would use it in the real world to take photos and so forth. So it was a pretty bloody good day, and the stuff that we've got coming up, I'm kind of excited by it. There's some big names in who's reached out. So and other people reached out as well. They just don't fit, and I think I've talked to you guys about that before, where if the product that they're selling, if you like, and they want to sponsor a video or two, if it doesn't work, and my first thing when someone contacts me about that sort of thing is, are you guys going to want that? Is it something that I would use as a photographer to do what I do? And if the immediate answer isn't yes, they're just not coming here. If I go, I'll think about that, that might work, well, I just don't. It just doesn't make sense to me that we would put out, I don't know, a bloody Instagram program to lay out your Instagram page. We do next to nothing here on Instagram. It doesn't make sense that I would put you guys through that just for the sake of some dollars. So with that in mind, when we do get to these products, you know that I think that they're worthwhile. So some of the questions, we'll just quickly go through this here. No one's asking questions, just telling me how awesome I am. So some of the questions that I've had, that I've been making notes of, and by all means you guys throw questions and stuff there as well, was if I sell photos, and I do. They're from all over the place. By all means, tell us where you're from and put it in the chats there. So the photos that I sell, that's me on live. You don't need to see what's live on there. You want to see this. So somebody was asking me the other day about, or asking a question the other day about, do I sell photos? And I do. So this is my other business. Like, I don't ever promote this on the channel. This is the professional work that I do, like the weddings and corporate work and things like that. I throw other stuff on here as well because I sell some of this stuff through this webpage. So this is my name, photography, like Shay Mostyn Photography. So I get most of the corporate work I get is through this. So I sell through this website, but not obviously through the phone photography website. It's something that I guess it's for me personally. When I first started doing this, it was a case of, this is really cool to have people want to buy my stuff, but it was a bit of a pain. You make a few dollars, like you can go out at night, and that excavator photo, for example, that I'll put that back there so you know what I'm talking about. If you don't know what I'm talking about, there's an excavator photo with the Milky Way up behind it. Looks like this video stream's taking up a lot of bandwidth on my little home internet connection here. So this photo down here, this excavator photo, that's been my biggest selling photo that I've ever had. It's I would have sold maybe 30 copies of that. And I moved them all over Australia, some of them internationally as well. It's one of those things that it's good to sell it, and you feel good about selling it. But for me, as remote as I live, when I they're still there. When I printed these photos here, that's all printed in Brisbane, and it's a long way away. So I just put it all online, then wait for a courier to come up. Then, if I'm going to send them as framed images, then I've got to actually travel to another town and get them framed. For me, it was a pain. If you live in town and in city or whatever, and you've got that sort of business that's close to you, well, why the hell not do it? You can make some good money out of it. If you're ever interested in that sort of thing more so, it's a little bit off what we do on the channel, but reach out and I'll tell you what sort of money I charge for them and how I work out what I charge for them and how I work out what I charge for other services and stuff. If you're doing that sort of stuff, just reach out, just send me an email or something, and we can talk about that as well. This is the part I've been looking forward to the most, and it's going over here and looking at these photos on that Facebook page. Just let me read through some of this. Romania, Sweden, Canada. There's a few Canadians here. Need to be accepted to Facebook to post them. I'm not sure there's any waiting for me there. There it is, waiting for me. How's that? Approved online, on live. So post your Northern Lights photos there, dude. I feel like I need two screens here. I've got so much crap going on to show you guys what you're looking at. Why don't you use Huawei smartphones? They're the best for astrophotography. I'll probably agree with you there. I'm waiting for the P50 Pro to come out. I was going to go and get the P40, and then the P50 Pro was due to come out in March, and it just didn't. And they're being very shady about when it's going to come out because it's got a big sensor on it. Apparently, it's got a 1-inch sensor on it, so I'm dead keen to see that. I think from what I've read about and what I've seen people in this group taking photos with Huawei phones, P30s and P40s as well, and P20s, I think. They're great phones. And I've got enough bloody phones at the moment. I don't want to go and buy a P40 if the P50 is about to come out, and I can't, from a YouTube point of view, I really want to use the new stuff that's trending. So I'm waiting for that P50 to come out. When it comes out, you'll see it here. You almost definitely will. What's the Facebook page again? It's Bloody Legends. I'll show you over here. There it is there. If you just search for that, and then there's a couple of us that are adminning that page, and just head over there, answer the questions. If you don't answer the questions, or if you aren't answering one, we just don't let people in. And we're kind of militant about that. Just to stop all the crap that you might get from anywhere else. That's not really showing a full screen there. Why not? Let's bring that open, and that'll do. So let's go and have a look at what I've been looking forward to with these photos. We'll go through a few here because I'm pretty bloody excited about how they look. There's some awesome talented photographers in this group. How many have we got in there now? 111. Like that. I took a photo of a chicken ages ago, like years and years and years ago, and it was one of these photos that I sold, and the photo of the chicken was very similar to this. I took it and it was pretty funny when I took it. I didn't expect to get what I got, and it was actually with a camera, so I was actually down with this chicken doing this, and when I got up I was just covered in chicken shit. It was pretty funny. Now Who is that? I'll get you in there in a second, Dave, if you're not there now. Is this person in this chat? If you are, say so. Because you're a bloody gun photographer. And I don't know how to say your name. I'm not sure if it's George or the way that that is set up. I'm not sure if it's George or Patricia George. No. And I'm not going to attempt to say that in the risk that I'm going to offend someone. But if you're here, let me know how you say your name, because you're a gun photographer. Some of the work that you push out there is just bloody amazing. I thought it's cold here in winter getting a... Shangrina? That's you? Why don't you use your real name in here, dude? Or do that. Anyway, that's a cool photo. Let's go look for some more. I'm not going to go through all of them because there's bloody heaps here. But all this top row here is from the same person. And like that's anyone who's photographed lightning before. Lightning, oh, you're not even seeing what I'm looking at here. Sorry. All these photos on this top row, I really need to get a second monitor. These photos that are on the top row here are all from the same person, and they're pretty bloody good. There's not too many things I'd pull up about these photos that are wrong, if you like. Anyone who's tried to photograph lightning, that's really hard to do, and even with proper cameras, I can't do it for you here. There's just Patricia 77. That's you, is it? Right. So it's Patricia, not George. The lightning photos, I can't really show you any here because I've lived here for 8 years or 9 years, and I've seen lightning twice. So you're probably not going to get a lightning tutorial from me unless I travel back up to the Gold Coast, which I potentially am in July. So we'll see. Gotcha. Confusion. There's a little bit of delay in when I'm talking about different things and asking you things, and when the question gets onto there. Let's go back to this. So if you look at the settings there, and I really like that you've got your settings there, because that's pretty much what I would have told people, is to go at least 15 seconds, no more than 15 seconds. If the lightning's punching out often enough, 15 seconds is more than ample. You got yourself soaked. What I will say is when you're photographing lightning, be very mindful of where you're doing it. and if you're on a tripod, you are on a tripod there because it's 15 seconds long, and tripods are usually metal, and metal things sitting in the air in lightning, it's not a good mix. I remember one of the photos I took with an old Olympus camera. It's older. Olympus have this really cool feature on there. It's called life composition. You just basically hit the shutter, and anything that comes lighter in the photo, it paints it into the photo. It's really good for light painting. And that's how I took some lightning photos. And I'm watching this lightning out on the horizon. It was bouncing down. It was got closer and closer and closer. And as it was getting closer, I was like, yeah, this is a ripper photo. It's awesome photo. It's great. Blah, 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 blah. Took another one. Yeah, this is fantastic. And then I'm like, this is a metal tripod. You're standing on top of a hill in lightning, you dickhead. Get out of here. So out I went. Let's have a look at some more of these. So this dog, Wisconsin Holstein Association. I don't think I need to watch that. That dog, every time I see it in this feed, it's just like, that's so cool. That dog's the deaf dog, I think, from what I saw from another photo. But every time I see this photo of this dog, it's sharp. It's like the photo, when you're focusing on an animal, like the eyes are what's the most important part, or when you're photographing people, the eyes are the most important part. So you always get the eyes nicely in focus. And every time I see that dog, it's like a ripper photo. He's taken a few of them. There's another one. Look at that. That's just sensational. It's obviously edited a bit, taking the background and stuff out, but that's perfect in focus. It's such a good photo. There's some more I really want to point out and actually show you a few things. Who is this? Because this is gun. Peter Barrett. I do like light painting stuff. This photo here reminds me of a photo I took of some hay bales one time. We were out doing a workshop out near Mount Hope, a proper photography workshop, like with proper cameras and stuff. And we brought some. So what that is possibly from, I'm not sure. But what I would use for this is you can get light painting tools that are what's it called? Fiber optics. So they're just fiber optics with a colored LED in the end. So it's like a rope of light, and we would turn them on. You can buy them on like eBay and stuff. They're like $1.50 or $2. They're cheap as. In fact, I'll do a video using those things at some point. And I had an orange one and a hay bale there. And hay, for anyone who lives in like regional areas, hay, when you're making hay, if there's a little bit of moisture in that hay, a bit too much moisture in that hay when you're making it, it can like spontaneously combust. Like you can put your hand inside some of this hay and you can't leave your hand there. It's like ultra hot. It's like ridiculously hot, and they just burst into flames. And sometimes that happens. Like you can have a haystack sitting out in a paddock and come back the next morning and it's like burnt to the ground. There's nothing there. So anyway, we're out there taking photos of this hay in a paddock, and there's all these round bales of hay, and there was hundreds of them. And we did that light painting thing with the orange fiber optic light painting tool that I use. And then I showed the owner, and oh my God, the hay was on fire. It was pretty funny. When am I going to do nebula photo? It's really about the telescopes and stuff. Every nearly swore then, because it's really frustrating for me. Nothing is ever in stock here at the moment for telescopes, and you've got to pre-order these things. And because I've never bought a telescope before, I've never owned a telescope. I want to be able to go there into a shop and have a look at a telescope and have someone talk to me about this telescope. And nothing's in stock, and nothing's in stock anywhere here until like August, and then it's a pre-order. So when it's something that I'm spending, $1,000 or something on, $1,500, $1,600 on, I really want to see that. I really want to go there and put my hands on it. It's different when it's a phone. Like that's for us here. That's about $1,800. That S21 Ultra, and that's okay because it's something that I'm very familiar with. Whereas I'm not with a telescope, so I'm a bit reluctant to lay down that sort of dollars on something online that I've never ever used before, and I don't know if it's going to do what I want it to do. So that's when once things start manufacturing, things start cranking up all over the world again. Well, that's when I'm probably going to be looking at deeper sky stuff. But that hopefully that answers your question. Patricia, are you the same Patricia on YouTube that just bought that Woburn torch? Are you the same person? It's pretty funny. I'm like 3 different names maybe. Give the pooch some extra belly rubs. We'll have a look at some more. This photo here, who took that? Is that person in here? I'm not sure if Martin's in here, but we're going to talk about that one in a little bit in a little bit more time. That's Martin as well. These photos, these are pretty bloody good photos. Now, Kurt, not sure if Kurt's in here, but Kurt's actually got a YouTube channel as well. Not sure if Kurt's in here. Go and have a look at Kurt's stuff. He does phone photography stuff as well. But look at where he lives. It's bloody awesome. He's in Canada, I'm pretty sure. With the rainforest and stuff of where he goes, and it's compared to where I am, it's just dead set gorgeous. It's flat and dusty, and you can see for a long, long way. But there, it's green and lush and water flowing everywhere. It's just awesome. Let's go back over here. don't mind that photo. That's a pretty sort of standard sort of waterfall photo. What I don't like about that photo is that there's no foreground, whereas with this photo, I think this one's a damn sight better because of what's in the front there, as in the rocks and the moss on the rocks in the front. And it's obviously a longer exposure photo. You can see with the water moving here. But I think from a compositional point of view, I think that's the better photo. There's that dog again. Look at that eye, perfectly in focus. It's exactly how it should be for animals. Ripper photo. Now, I'm not sure if anyone saw this little series of photos, David Walker. And when you're using, this is a pretty simple, and not simple, it's a very easy thing to do. These are the same photos. Whoops, no, it's not. These are the same sort of photos, probably in the same position, and using Nightcap app, and it's a very easy thing to screw up with Nightcap app. So when I'm using Nightcap app, I will go into it. I will not be sliding my fingers anywhere on that screen once the photo is set to go to push the button. Because when you'd start doing that, you'll start screwing around with focus point. All I do is touch on the screen to a star, so it's focused on the star, and that's it. When you slide your finger anywhere on that, you're changing shutter speed, ISO, white balance, pardon me, you're changing all this sort of stuff. And you don't know about it for hours later. And when you come back hours later thinking, I've got to rip a photo, and you get out there and it ends up looking like that, that's disappointing. I'd be disappointed. So be very mindful of doing that sort of thing with like moving your finger around on that Nightcap app. Let's have a quick look through your comments. Okay. Anything with mountains is going to be more pleasant to my eye than what I've got here. Sent you the Milky Way. I couldn't see that. Yash. I remember commenting to you that send me that and we'll have a talk about it here, but I never got anything. I just figured you forgot about it. We'll have to maybe chase that one for next time. Let's go back to that website. There's some more in here that I wanted to talk briefly about. There's a few flower photos that are coming up. Is that something that you guys want me to do? And that leads me into another question as well, which is part of what I'll talk about in a second. I got to, when I was looking through these the other day, I got to this point here. Oh, that's gun. That's awesome. Love that. That's really impressive shot. Not sure if Gavin Vickers is in here, but everything about this photo, I wish I got this one down so I could draw all over it. But this one here, those pebbles that are in the foreground and the bridge coming from left to right, everything about this is composed pretty bloody good. But the leading lines into that, to the tower, yeah, that's a great photo. I hadn't actually seen that one before. And I got to this here and I saw all these vehicles here doing this sort of burnouts and stuff, and I went, whoever took this is an Aussie, because that's something that happens here. That's something that happens here all the time. These burnouts and stuff. That's a very, very much an Australian sort of thing that we do here with our utes. All this sort of stuff. Yeah. I just saw something else I wanted to talk. This is an Aussie as well, I think. New South Wales on the number plate. This sort of car, this is a silver Merc. You're probably familiar with them, anyone who's seen this sort of thing. This is exactly how I would have done this photo as well, in that those hills might well be green out in the background there. And I can tell you the side cut of these two here, it's pretty typical of the roads that we have through the countryside here. They'll all be brown, and this vehicle here is like a really reflective silver. I would have absolutely done this as a black and white photo as well. It's definitely the better option when you've got something really bright and shiny and reflective. in a dull background is definitely do it black and white. Let's have a quick read through these before I go any further. Do I think it's better to shoot auto mode or... So you're talking about S21 Ultra, I'm guessing there, Scott. I just shoot it in auto. I use Pro. Look, as far as phone photos go, guys, the way I look at whether it's an iPhone or whether it's the Pixel or the Galaxy, it doesn't really matter. The propeller heads in these companies, they spend a lot of time making this stuff, so they're easy to use for the most part. And I generally just shoot in with the camera mode on auto almost all the time. The only thing I ever adjust is the exposure, like by sliding my finger up or down to make it brighter or make it darker, and that's it. I'll have a look in my messages there to see if I can find them. But I generally I get apps like Halide and stuff like that for the iPhone just so I can show them on the channel. I don't use them. I honestly don't think there's any point in using them. When I use Pro mode on that Galaxy is just for the Astro stuff that we do here, or anything that I want to do that is it's out of the auto. Even when I teach photography with proper cameras, I tell people there's nothing wrong with using auto, and there's not. It's more when auto doesn't work, and it doesn't work for the way you want it to do, you need to understand how you can change that in the other manual modes, whether it's aperture priority or shutter priority or full manual mode. It's knowing how to do that when auto doesn't work. And there's not, with phones, I haven't found too many cases where I want to capture something and the auto doesn't work. It's only when we're doing the more complex things, long exposure stuff, that I'll go to Pro mode. Hopefully that answers your question. Whenever I run in-person workshops with phones and we start talking about manual settings and stuff, and people are surprised that I don't use anything other than the native camera app generally to take photos. I find it's more, with photography, I find it's more, it's rarely the gear that you're using, or in the case of phones, it's the app that you're using. It's more the story that you're telling. You're taking some fantastic photos there of that dog, and whether no one cares if it's in auto mode, it's a great photo. No one cares if you've gone and put it all into manual mode. It's when you take photos, like, let me just go back to this page. It's when people are taking photos. Like you go and put a photo like this on any one of those Facebook photography groups, and people are going to ask, what did you use? How did you do it? That sort of thing. Because it's a little bit more of a technical sort of a photo. But I'm not saying these photos aren't technical. They're on point. They're great photos. But no one's going. They're going to talk about the animal in this photo. They're not going to talk about the settings that you used in this photo. So generally speaking, mate, I'm going to be using the native camera app in auto for almost everything. It's only when that doesn't work for the way I want to do it that I'll change it. So that could be something as simple as it could be simple as trying to reduce the focus like reduce the focus field of focus in a photo, like flowers and stuff like that. It could be for sunsets, because quite often the auto mode won't work with sunsets, and I'll go and try something with one of those apps, or in the case of the Galaxy, go into Pro mode. If you've got, keeping in mind, when I'm taking the photos that I will take, not for this channel, because I'm usually sitting at there doing something specific for this and I've got time to do it. But if I see something in a paddock whilst I'm driving a tractor along, trust me, I'm not pulling out a tripod or setting up any sort of Pro mode on the camera. If it doesn't work within 1 or 2 seconds of me taking that photo, I'm not going to bother. I've got other things to do. So hopefully that answers your question, mate. I'm probably ranting on a bit about that one. Let's go back and quickly look at some more. So dog photos, cool. This is kind of, I'd say that looks even very Aussie as well. It's Kate. So the person who took this photo, I guarantee you she's not watching this. So Kate Barker is actually someone I met a while ago now. Probably, I don't know, when Kate watches this, she'll be probably making a comment. I'm going to say 4 years ago or 5 years ago, when I looked at this photo, I went, "Oh, that looks like it's taken around here," and it was. So Kate lives about an hour away from where I am, and I met her when she bought a new camera and she wanted to know how to use it, and we went and did a one-on-one workshop. And you may remember the iPhone 12 Pro video that I did out at Cow Swamp. It was actually Kate's phone. So Kate was out there taking photos. Said, "Hey, can I have your phone for a bit, and we'll take this." Incidentally, those who don't know that photo competition app, the C41 photo competition app. So Kate's a big user of that app, and she actually won first or second prize there for the night photography, which is kind of cool. I'll see these other questions here. Yeah, cool. Cheers, Scott. I'm going to try something that I haven't done here before. So this might all crash and burn, and if it does, it's good to see you all. I'm just going to open this up because there was a couple of things here I wanted to see. I'm so glad Patricia's in here because I reckon this is her photo. Hopefully you guys can see that. This is one of Patricia's photos. It's probably, hopefully it looks all right. And the reason that I've put it on here is so that I can draw on it. And it's so we're streaming. That'll do us. I look at this photo, and everyone that would look at this photo will go, "Yeah, that looks beautiful." But what I would say to you is when you're looking at any photos that you're looking at and you think it's a good photo, one of the things that I find makes me a better photographer is when I see a photo like this, I'll try and work out why I like this photo. And I think everybody should try and do that. It's mine. Oh, is it? Sorry. And I look at this photo and I go, why do I like this photo? And the answer to this is, I believe, is because it has a leading line through it. And you look at that photo, and this is what I really wanted to demonstrate to you, is where this leading line is. So when I look at this photo, there's one or two things I look at first. It's this or it's this. It's those two things that immediately draw my eye because they're in the foreground of the photo, and it's a shape in the case of this one here, or it's the color in the case of this one here. And when I look at that photo, my eye is drawn here and it goes out like this. And that's a leading line that curves. And it's an unusual sort of composition in that it's not immediately a leading line photo that you go, "Oh, it's clearly a leading line there." Now, I'm not sure if you meant to do that or not, but it works really, really, really well. And as the eye goes further up into the sky there, up to here, you go, well, shit, there's even stars up there. How the hell do they do that? It's a really good photo. It keeps you looking at it for a long time because it's not immediately obvious as to why you liked it. There's a lot going on in the photo, but that leading line moves down those buildings, across the roofs of those buildings, and up into the hills, and then all of a sudden the stars as well. That is a bloody awesome photo. I really like it. Now, get out of that one. This one, let me bring this back down so that you can see it all. When I look at this photo, I go, "Yeah, cool, there's some berries on a tree." I'm not sure if this person's in here either, and any sort of critiquing that I do on the photos here, guys, don't think, "Oh, he's being mean" or whatever. I'm just pointing out some things that are not immediately obvious when it's on the back of your phone. So I look at this and I go, the color of this is what makes it. And you look at that and you go, the color of the berries are really bright. Unfortunately, it's not what's in focus. This is what's in focus. That there, all this is blurred. And when we zoom right in, the berries are all blurred, and the focus point is over here. It's a very, very, very easy thing to do when you're looking just at the back of the phone in the middle of the sun in a sunny day. All the reflection and stuff, you don't necessarily see that. I would encourage you, and if you want to do macro sort of work or flowery sort of work, let me know. Put a comment there, and that's certainly something that I can do in a video. But that is a really simple thing to do. It's, you look at it and you go, that looks awesome on the back of the phone. I would encourage you, if you're going to do something with that photo, to zoom right in, like zoom in as close as you can and see actually what's in focus. Because when you're looking at the back of the phone, quite often it will just look like it's in focus, and it's not when you get onto a bigger screen. Let me just get rid of, I really need to do something with different monitors, because I've got bloody iPad streaming and phone streaming. Hey Pierre. Just dropped an edited one with your original Discord. Oh, is this on the web page, mate? Not sure where you're talking about there, Pierre. Is it on Discord or is it here? I may look at it next time, mate, once we sort them out. The other thing, there was another photo. Let me just go back over to here. And I'm going to show you something else. It's in this series of photos, I think it is. Andre. This photo. This photo is an obvious leading line photo. And it looks like a reasonably good photo. There's nothing in that I go, that's a horribly composed photo. But we're going to fix something on this. And it's... Oh, nice of you to join us, Greg. Now, this photo here, I look at this photo and the leading line is obvious. It's good colours. You've recovered some shadows from the foreground, but the thing that really bothers me is what the lens has done to this photo. And what we're going to do is, I'll show you how to fix it. So this is the photo here, and I pulled it down from Facebook, so it's really small, shitty quality, but it's going to do what I want it to do. These railings along the side, see how they're leaning in? And over here they're leaning in. We can fix that in Snapseed. And I downloaded this one purposely to show you this, because it's something that's, there's not too many big tall buildings and stuff here for me to do, and because I've been going to Melbourne to shoot some video, and then they went, oh no, we've got another case in Melbourne, so we're locking down the state, and I haven't been able to get there to take this sort of photo to show you this sort of thing. But because this these railings, they kind of come in, they bend in, and that's just lens physics. That's just the way it is. If we go into tools, and if we go to perspective, and if I slide my finger up now, you see you've got these grids on the side here. See if I can expand. I can't make it bigger. I can bring this up higher and higher, and it's going to lower and lower, dickhead, and it's going to bring those verticals on that right hand side there straight up and down, and it leaves the rest of the photo as it should be. And you do this with buildings and stuff, and it's something that I think when you take this sort of photo, because you've got this leading line coming in, you've got these posts, or it could be lamp posts, it could be fences, it could be walls, it could be anything. And the same thing happens with buildings when you take a photo looking directly up at a building and like shooting a high-rise building. Use the same tool, that perspective tool, and it can bring it more, rather than like flexing up, or in this case here, bowing out, you can bring it all nice and straight. And it's only a little thing, but it makes the photo so much better. You take some gun photos, really, really good photos. On Discord, mate, she'll be a bit hard to get it from there to here right now. We'll definitely look at that next time though, Pierre. I'll actually answer you over there on Discord. I didn't get an alert that came there. That's odd. What else are we talking about? Someone's asked me about doing other sorts of videos, not just astrophotography videos or low light videos. Is that something that you guys want to see? This is something that I've toyed with a little while for a while. Do I go out and show you how to take photos of trees and use other modes of animals and that sort of stuff, and vehicles, and but not during the night? I'm not sure if that's something that you're here for. Let me know. If you want to know all the different modes and stuff on the cameras, let me know. I'll run a video on that. It might even end up being a third video a week, where I might just have a shorter video just describing one aspect of the mode of that particular phone. Let me know. My feeling is that it should all be about astrophotography and low light photography, because that's kind of what I do. And when you look through all the videos that I've done, that's pretty much all it is. But there's been a few people more recently asking, don't you do videos of this sort of stuff? They like show me how to use the camera otherwise. But let me know. The future videos that I've got, because I know you wanted to see that. See, I have to use these to see what's on here, but not what's on the board over there. I actually am doing something very shortly about some product photography. I've started shooting the video. So when I first started this channel was around when COVID put the world into a bucket of shit. And at the time I was doing a heap of videos for a local business that teaches businesses social media and online presence and stuff like that. And I was there running workshops with those business owners about how to take photos of their products. So when this channel first started, you'll see way back in the beginning. And when I go back and look at these videos way back in the beginning, I go, man, this guy, what an amateur. And I look at videos that I did last week and I go, he's still an amateur. But I did it all about products and how to take photos of products to put onto your website so you could still keep your shop open during lockdown and still sell your stuff. And it was good. But I think it's time to update some of that. And I will be. So there's a video coming soon about that. So also with maybe a panning technique video. Panning technique. You're talking about vehicles moving with blurry backgrounds, or you're talking about panoramas, or you're talking about video? Let me know. Where was I going? So I've done some light painting stuff with like Slow Shutter app and stuff like that. Slow Shutter app, you know what I'm talking about. But I haven't actually done anything with the Galaxy for that sort of thing, like with fire spinning and orbs of, light orbs and stuff like that. So is that something that's interesting to you? I'll shoot that one as well. I've got a portrait video there, and then there's like 5 or 6 videos there of different sponsored products that I've got going on here, and you'll probably even see my new motorbike in that. I haven't shown you my new motorbike yet, I don't think. They're the sort of videos that are coming up. I'll just quickly go through these comments here, guys, before we sign off today. Welcome. Okay, maybe a panning technique. Let me know what you mean, Patricia, that panning technique. Consider low light or astro with drones. You're killing me. Yep, moving vehicle. Yep, I can do that. amateur maybe, but bloody good one. So the drone question there. So you probably all know that I work. So this isn't my only gig, and the photography isn't my only gig. So I work whenever you see tractors and cows and stuff in photos and videos. That's actually where I work. It's about 2 kilometers that way. And I remember that first video I ever did with a little postie bike. That's actually how I ride to work most days. And I do like tractor work and work with cows and stuff like that. And but I do that 4 days a week, and I'm about to start doing it 3 days a week because this is taking up more time and it's becoming successful, and I need to devote more time to this. And right now, I'm actually on holidays. I've got 2 weeks off, and in this time, I was talking to Sarah, my wife. I said, I think I need to do more work with drones, and I'll try to work out, can I do astrophotography with drones? And so this week and next week, that's what I'm going to try and do. So it's funny that you just said do some astro and low light with drones. That's what I'm going to try and do. It might be an absolute fizzer, but you'll probably see a video with a fizzer. If it is a fizzer, it might work, it might not. But I always talk that I'm doing stuff with drones, and I haven't been able to get out with the drones, but now I've got time that I can. I will certainly do some drone stuff in the next couple of weeks. So you'll probably see them in like 2 or 3 weeks, I guess. So stay tuned for that one. The downside of doing drones, I appreciate you're asking for it, but not everyone has one. But it'll still be interesting, I think, to see that a drone can, with a little tiny little sensor, can pull out some pretty cool photos as well. Yeah, like I say, the rest of it though is product and sponsorship sort of photos, videos, but all of these videos are going to still be educational stuff. Like the stuff that I've got in front of me here, there's some pretty cool kit there, and it's reasonably inexpensive kit, and it's going to do some, well, I'm hoping it's going to do some pretty cool sort of photos that I didn't think we were going to be able to do, but I think we can. I don't want to give too much away until I've finished shooting the video. But from all accounts straight away, it's looking like it's going to be successful. So let me have a look at any other questions that you guys have had, and I'll be out of here. All right, so that moving vehicle with the background with the blurred background with the vehicle, that's absolutely on the money. I can do that. Every second Tuesday I do photography. Like I run a photography group here in my hometown. There's, I don't know, half a dozen people that come on a regular basis every 2 weeks, and with proper cameras, and we go out and we show them how to take photos of different things. And we actually did that panning photos with vehicles in town about a month ago. That's coincidental. That's it, guys. There's nothing else I really wanted to cover. Nope, nothing else. Hopefully you have a good weekend, guys, and I'll see you doing this live thing in 2 weeks' time, and you'll see a video, well, as you normally do on a Monday or Tuesday, depending on where you are in the world. And I'll catch you later, guys. See ya.